She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Word of Mom Radio here on the Word of Mom Media Network. I'm your host, Dori DeCarlo, and you know we are here week after week, show after show, breaking those myths that mompreneurs and businesswomen, especially those of us building our businesses from home, that we're just dabbling in between bake sales and getting our nails done. We're not. We are smart, we are savvy, and we are sharing the wisdom of women in business and in life. And I am thrilled to be bringing today's guest onto our show. Rhonda Britten, Emmy Award-winner, repeat Oprah guest, and master coach, has changed lives in over 600 episodes of reality television, authored 4 bestsellers, including her seminal work, Fearless Living, which is translated into 16 languages, and founded the Fearless Living Institute, home of Fearless Living Life Coach Certification Program, considered the Ivy League of life coaching training. She was the first coach on television in the world and appeared for 3 seasons as the head life coach on the hit daytime NBC show Starting Over. Named its most valuable player by the New York Times and heralded as America's favorite life coach, Rhonda brings the neuroscience of fear down to earth, giving you a path of not being good enough using the Wheels technology she developed that saved her own life. Rhonda's been read, heard, and watched by millions, coached tens of thousands of clients, trained hundreds of coaches, and now wants to share all she knows with you and is here on Word of Mom Radio. So yay, Rhonda, welcome to the show.
That's right. I sound bomb when you say it. It sounds amazing. I'm like, wow, yeah, I did all that. You're right. And I'm so excited to be here.
You know what? It's really cool sometimes to actually hear what you've done, because sometimes we forget the journey we've been on and just how badass we really are.
100%. I think the one thing, when you're talking about mom entrepreneurs, it's just like, you get so bogged in, you can get so bogged in, thinking of yourself as a mother, a partner, etc., that you do forget that you're badass. I think it's so normal for women to not think about themselves in that way, right? Oh, God forbid we're selfish. God forbid we get big-headed. God forbid we think we're all that. And it's like, yeah, we are all that, okay? We're like literally keeping the world together, okay? Without us, the world would collapse, okay? We're the only ones that can do it.
Well, let's face it. Without us, we wouldn't have a world. So,
that's right.
Say what you want. And that's
exactly.
The whole thing. It really is so true. And women need to stand up for themselves. That's why Word of Mom began, to give women a voice. So we know we're not out there alone, because you know what? You can go up on the top of that mountain and sing that song, but when you have other women behind you, what a voice that we all have when we work together. So Rhonda, I would love for you to take us on your journey, because what a journey you've been on.
Well, I think you're referring to the worst day of my life, which is really the start of how I got here started back then. I always say that the seeds of our destiny are planted in our worst days, right? It's where the fertilizer comes from. And so my worst day was when I was 14 years old. I grew up in a little tiny town in Michigan, 365 inches of snow a year, and my parents were getting divorced. My father was coming to take us out for Sunday brunch. It's Father's Day. So my mom's pluffing up her beehive hairdo and putting on her blue eyeshadow and her rose-colored lipstick. My dad walks in the back door. Come on, because that's what dads do. My 2 sisters are fighting it out in our 1 bathroom. Me and my mom start walking out. It's starting to rain. As we walk outside, my dad is starting to sprinkle. My dad says he's got to get his coat from the car. And this coat was a tan Naugahyde leisure suit coat. And I know you remember what tan Naugahyde leisure suit coats look like, Dori, and they look good and they looked hot. So my dad's in his trunk getting his coat, and I notice out of the corner of my eye that he has not grabbed a coat. He has grabbed a gun, and he starts yelling at my mother, "You made me do this. You made me do this." And he fires. And I start screaming, "Dad, what are you doing? Stop, Dad. What are you doing?" And he cocks the gun again, points it at me. And I absolutely believe I'm next. And he blinks and I blink and he blinks and I blink. And my mother, with her literal last breath, screams out, "No, don't." And my father takes that bullet intended for me and shoots my mother a second time. And that second bullet goes through my mother's abdomen, out her back, lands in the car horn. And for the next 20 minutes, all I hear is, and then my father cocks the gun one more time, puts the gun to his head and fires. So in a matter of 2 minutes, I watched my father murder my mother and commit suicide in front of me. And I don't know how you would respond, but this is how I responded. It's my fault because I was physically the only one there that could have stopped it. And I didn't grab the gun, and I didn't kick my father's shins, and I didn't jump in front of my mother. And everybody says, well, you're only 14. It doesn't matter. In the sense of you, in the middle of your soul, you're like, but I could have done something, and I did nothing. So that day, I like to think of myself split into two, Dori, the outside me and the inside me. The outside me is fine. I'm a straight A student. I'm fine. I get a full ride to college. I keep up my grades. I'm fine. I'm fine. But inside, well, first of all, when you watch your mother die and you don't do anything, you don't get to be happy. So that's off the table. And so I had so much guilt and so much shame and so much blame that on the outside, like I said, I'm fine. But on the inside, I was just dying. So the minute I hit college, I found alcohol. Oh my gosh, I can drink and I can numb these feelings. I became an alcoholic, got 3 DUIs, tried to kill myself 3 times. And the third suicide attempt, by the way, when you try to kill yourself, they do put you in a psychiatric ward. So they put me in a psychiatric ward and they evaluate me, deem me not crazy, let me go. And I remember getting back to my little studio apartment and saying to myself, oh my God, so all those years I was drinking. Yes, I was getting DUI and I was suiciding, but I was also going to therapy. I was going to workshops. I was doing every possible inner child work. You got it. Shaman work. You got it. Crystals. You got it. Anything Reiki. You got it. I did everything. And I remember sitting in my apartment realizing like I have so much knowledge, but my life and how I see myself has not changed. And I remember saying to myself, I got to start over. I just got to start over. And so I said to myself, what do kindergartners do? Well, they get a calendar and gold star. So I literally went down to the drugstore, got a calendar, gold stars, brought it home. And every day for the next 30 days, I gave myself a gold star for anything I did in a positive, powerful way, anything forward movement. And I'm talking about drinking and not getting drunk or getting angry and not breaking anything. I'm not talking about evolved. I'm talking about just anything positive. And at the end of 30 days, keeping track of my behaviors, keeping track of my actions, becoming more aware of what I was actually doing, thinking, feeling, I had a calendar filled with gold stars. And that was the thing that made me realize that I could change. I didn't know really how quite yet, besides the gold stars, but it gave me the hope I needed to keep living, to keep moving forward. And that actually set me on a mission where I eventually discovered fear was at the heart of everything. And here I am with fearless living. So it was a long, hard journey. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. And I felt like for most of my life, I was crawling through glass. But I also know that it was needed and necessary for me to be here to do with the work I do today, to be with the women that I'm with, so that they know they have a safe place to be whatever they need to be in order to change their lives.
Rhonda, I I don't even know what to say. And these are the times that I so wish I do interviews in person because I just want to hug you. I really do. I just want to hug you.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't you have thought it was your fault? Because especially as kids, it's all our fault.
Yes,
our
that's
mom
right.
is being sick or anything like that. If we had not argued, if we hadn't raised our voices,
That's right.
all of those things that we put on ourselves that are just a natural thing to do.
Yes.
And to look at how you crawled through glass and look at what you've created. And now fearless living. What a whole other meaning it has in my brain right now. Not knowing your backstory, not knowing what you have survived. And I am looking at this incredibly beautiful, vibrant woman.
Thanks.
That, wow, I mean, seriously, to be able to pull yourself, not only yourself up, but then to find ways to pull other people up. Wow. I know your mom is looking down. She must be so proud.
Well,
that you are.
Well, thank you. I thank you. And, I know that part of my drive, because I'm deeply devoted to my work, deeply devoted to, helping people live the life their soul intended. And I've had people say to me like, well, why do you think that you know, it's fear, and why do you think you do this? I go, well, you want to psychoanalyze me? I'll tell you exactly why I do it. My mother died leaving my father. She was just about to live the life her soul intended, and she died. And she died because my father was afraid, had no capacity to move beyond his fear, and killed her because he had no other way to handle himself. And my mother stayed for far too long because she was afraid. And I am determined to make sure that nobody, if they want support to do it, that they can live the life their soul intended. So nobody has to live a life that is not fully lived, because my mother didn't get to live the life her soul intended. She died when she was 39 years old. I was 14 and I thought, when you're 14, your mom's 39, you think she's old, right? And I remember as I was aging and then I turned 39, I remember just thinking, oh my God, because when you're 39, you feel like you're 20 still, right? I mean, I feel like I'm 20 all the time, right? But you just are so young and so vital. And I just thought about, oh my gosh, what my mother was feeling, and three children, and she lost a baby too, and now she's married to a man she's doesn't know how to get out of, get out from under. And it took everything for her to leave. It took everything for her to leave. And the fact that she died trying to do it is just inspires me to this day. And I also believe, if you want to get woo-woo, and this is a little woo-woo, Dori, it's a little woo-woo. I like to think of me and my mom and dad up in heaven, right? And I like to think of us as angels, right? And we're like, what are you going to do next lifetime? And my dad's like, well, what do you want to do? And my mom's going, well, what do you want to do? And my dad goes, I know. Why don't we help the world get more fearless, get free of fear? And we're all like, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. And he goes, okay, Rhonda, which my name wasn't Rhonda, it was like Angel something. And he goes, well, why don't you help people solve fear? And I'm like, me? Oh, why, yes, that would be amazing. I would love to do that. That would be so cool. And then he goes, but something bad's going to have to happen to you, really bad. And we're like, yeah, bad. And he goes, okay, I'll be the bad guy this lifetime. I'll be the bad guy. And I'll come down, I'll be your dad, and you be the mom, and I'll kill you, and I'll kill myself in front of you. And we're all like, yeah, that's great. Right? Right? Because we're setting the stage for my unfoldment. I just forgot my part for 20 years, right? But that part, that 20 years was part of that part of me, crawling through glass so that I could understand what it was really like to live in the pain that we live with today, even though we look happy on the outside, even though we are thriving actually in so many ways. But there's those parts of ourselves that we haven't accepted, the parts of ourselves that we haven't loved, the parts of ourselves that we're still ashamed of. And that is my work to do, is to support you in seeing that there is no reason to ever beat yourself up, because that is only fear.
I don't think that's woo-woo. I don't. You know what? I actually think that is brilliant. It truly is. What a brilliant way to say, okay. And because let's face it, we both know that so many people would use that as their reason. Like you said, you became, you started drinking, all of these things, and would stay on that hamster wheel.
That's
of
right.
Just self-destruction, self-loathing, self-reproach, all of those things that I'm not good enough and everything else. People go into that. And again, that's why I love the name Fearless Living, because this is it. Every time I hear somebody say, oh, you only live once, it's like, no, you only die once. You live every day.
You remember, right?
You live every day. And that's why letting something, being afraid of doing something, I want to talk about fearless living, the whole mission behind that name, because it just, in and of itself, just tells you, fearless living. And so many people are afraid to live fearlessly. So let's talk about that.
Well, I love fearless living, and God gave me that. God was like, it's called fearless living. I'm like, okay. And, I love that Buddha used the word fearless. And I love that. I'm trying to remember the woman's name now. I'm forgetting it, Dying to Be Me, who had the near-death experience, who died on the table. And she went to the other side, and she came back, and all that spirits told her, Jesus, I think she said it was Jesus who came to her, said, go and be fearless, is what he said. And when I read her book, I was like, yes, go and be fearless. And that just gives me, whenever that happens, I just feel a little like, yeah, yeah, that's right. We got to be fearless because, of course, the number one phrase in the Bible is do not be afraid. But they don't tell you how not to be afraid, right? That's the whole point. It's like everything I read, it was like, it told me like, love yourself. But it's like, how do you love yourself if you don't know how to love yourself? Don't tell me to love myself, right? I don't, unless you're going to tell me exactly what to do. And I'm talking little tiny steps. Because I would read those books and it would say, be gentle with yourself and love yourself. And it's like, how do you do that if you've never done that? You can't, I can't find the answer in this book. And so I set apart, I think what makes my work is that I'm so practical because I was so frustrated in reading those books and taking those classes and going to therapy. Like the puzzle didn't make sense to me. Like there were missing pieces. And nobody could explain the missing pieces. And I would be just like, there's something not happening here. There's something missing. And when God handed me fear, because it was God that gave it to me, ultimately, it was like, that's it. That is the missing piece. Because once you understand how fear works, then everything else, your entire perception of the world shifts. Like the literal perception of the world. The bitterness, the resentment, the anger, the frustration, the hate, all of that stuff, you just see it all through the lens of fear. So it's not personal anymore. It's not about what they think it's about. It's literally that they're afraid. And when you can do that, you have so much compassion. You have so much compassion. Doesn't mean you have to be friends with them. Doesn't mean you have to, have lunch with them. But you don't have that resentment, that bitterness, that anger that's eating you apart. So I have parents always ask me, well, Rhonda, I want to make sure I created something called the Wheel of Fear and Wheel of Freedom. And I have people come to my workshops or read the book Fearless Living and say, well, I don't want my kids to have any fear. And I go, the greatest way that you can support your children is by you understanding your fear so that you model to them what to do when you are afraid. Because right now you're acting out when you're afraid. And so you're teaching them that fear is uncontrollable. You're teaching them that fear has the better of you. Once you understand how it works, then you can model that for your children. And in that understanding, they are going to understand how to work through their fear. So as a parent, as a mom, as a father, as a partner, as a spouse, etc., the greatest gift that you can do is to figure out your own wheel of fear, to figure out that core trigger, to find out that thing that's really driving you. Because I promise you, what you think it is, isn't it at all. And then that way you can actually know how to work with yourself so that you can shift and change in a way that supports you instead of doing it from a place of fear. I better not, I shouldn't. Instead, it's from what is moving me, what is inspiring me, what's pulling me, what's nudging me, what is moving me forward. Live the life your soul intended.
On that note, we are going to take a quick break. I really want you to think about what Rhonda just said. Really hear that. We'll be back in just a moment here on Word of Mom Radio. She is brave, she is bold, she is you, and we want to tell your story. Are you ready to share your journey with us on Word of Mom Radio? Go to wordofmomradio.com and register as a guest. We want to tell your story because when you win, we all win.
In 2017, Unsilenced Voices was formed to help survivors of domestic abuse and gender-based violence worldwide. The organization currently serves Sierra Leone, Rwanda, Ghana, and the USA. In 2022, Unsilenced Voices gifted over $33,000 to survivors in the USA. And in Sierra Leone, there are over 26 young girls who have been rescued from sex trafficking and domestic abuse and now going through vocational training school in order to better their lives. We need your help. Donations are critical in order for us to continue our work. We also need volunteers to help with research and development. Please visit unsilencedvoices.org for more information.
And we're back here on Word of Mom Radio. We are talking with Rhonda Britten about fearless living. I have to tell you, your message is so wonderful to me. And it is something in my life that I have tried so hard. I have 3 kids, and my youngest, my daughter, got her Reiki certifications in India, her yoga certifications in Ecuador, her international massage therapy in Costa Rica, spent 4.5 months backpacking across Southeast Asia to then do 6 months worth of work in Australia. And when she went to backpack, her father was like, "This is your fault. If you weren't her mother, she'd never be doing this shit." And my daughter was like, "Thanks, mommy. If you weren't my mom, I could never do this."
That's right.
I love that I gave my kids wings, and
Yes.
I never let their fears stop them. It's like, you know what? Fear not doing it.
Yeah.
What if are the worst words in the world, as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So in sharing what you do, you talk about making fear your friend.
Yes.
And I think that that is amazing. And I would love to know how you've done that and how you've helped people do that and what it does for your life when you can make fear your friend.
Well, I'm going to tell you something really radical. And I remember when I was on Steve Harvey, I said this out loud to him, and he just like literally stopped and was like, "What did you just say?" And I said, this is what I told him, and this is what I'm going to tell you. When you really understand that fear loves you, that it loves you, it just doesn't know how to love you any way than to keep you safe. Every feeling you have has a job. Fear's job is not to make you happy. Fear's job is not to set you free. That's not fear's job, not the way it loves you. Fear's job, the way it loves you, is by keeping you safe. And the challenge is that unless we understand that it's fear and how to work with it, fear only has the information it knows based on your past history, based on all the things stored in your brain. By the way, not only your brain, your DNA, your life experience. I mean, they have now proven that fears are handed down through our DNA. So when people come to me and say, "I got to find what's wrong, I got to find what happened," you may never find out what happened. You may never find it out. Quit looking backwards to find out how to move yourself forward. That is, like, love it, pray for it, bless it, exactly like I did with my parents, right? Forgive it, let it go. And just what if you really thought to yourself, every time that you beat yourself up, it was really fear trying to keep you safe, because you're either thinking a thought, you're either contemplating a move, you're starting to feel an energetic shift. And so you got to beat yourself up to put yourself down, to put you back in place. And that's not you doing it to yourself, not your essential nature, not who you really are. You would never do that to yourself. You would never do that to yourself. It's fear going in, "I got to shut Dori down. I got to shut Sarah down. I got to shut her down. She's about to do something crazy, and I can't guarantee her safety," because fear can only replicate what it knows. So it can't go into the future in uncertainty. That's not where it lives. It only lives in what it already knows. And so if you're going to think about opening a new business, or, going and making YouTube videos, or starting to speak publicly, fear is going to go, "What do you think? Well, come on, you. Now, I'm not saying that we're all 100% fear. There's probably going to be 30 or 50 or maybe 80% of ourself that's really excited and alive and that has in our sense of freedom. But that fear is going to come in and try to go, are you sure? You think, I don't know, because again, fear knows everything you know. Fear is as smart as you are, as educated as you are, as spiritual as you are, as knowledgeable as you are. So fear knows everything you know and uses all of it against you to keep you safe, because that's fear's job. So once you understand that fear is not against you, fear is not something to be like, yeah, no, it's something to go, "Oh, it's trying to keep me safe." My true nature, my essential, what I call the essential nature on the Wheel of Freedom, your essential nature is wanting to move forward, wanting to thrive, wanting to feel alive, wanting to make a move, wanting to grow, wanting to shift, right? Because that's who we are when we're true in our nature. We are growth beings. But when we're thinking about that, when we're even like hearing somebody else do it or seeing somebody else do it, and it just goes, you just have a moment of, right? You don't even say, could I yet? You just go, that moment, fear goes, oh boy, oh boy, oh gosh, I got to look through my file. No, we've never done this before, which means I can't guarantee your safety. I got to get her to shut this down. So once you can see that, then everything changes. Literally everything changes.
That's amazing. Yeah. I just think back to the story my mom told me when I was a little kid. I was 18 months old. My dog was sleeping and I jumped on him. He was a huge German Shepherd. And he turned his head and it clipped the back of my head off. 29 stitches. 29 stitches is a lot of stitches. At 18 months old, like the whole back of my head, it was just in a flap. And so back then, the doctor came and got us, brought us to his office, stitched my head, and he told my mother, look, hopefully she's young enough that she'll get over this, but she's going to be deathly afraid of animals. Don't try to force her. Hopefully. They opened up the car door. I ran out of the car and I jumped on my dog. My mother said to me, man,
thank God.
We learned really early that you really weren't going to be afraid of much. And it's funny because in times in my life where I hear fear, I'm like, okay, come on, let's do it.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know I was making it my friend.
Yeah.
Really didn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I love it because you were raised in an environment where your brain, because again, our neural pathways we're wired for fear. We're wired for this. But you were entrenched in an environment of your mother being such a risk taker that it was not abnormal for you to take risks. You saw your mother every day take risks. You saw her being different than all the other mothers. And that gave you a perception like, oh, I don't have to be like anybody else. Look at my mom. I mean, she's not like anybody else, right? So what a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gift she gave you. And also what a beautiful life you decided to be birthed into, because you wanted to have like some good times in this life, it sounds like.
You know, it's funny. I say it all the time that I came from a long line of my grandmother who left my grandfather in the 50s with her 2 kids, went to Florida, worked 3 jobs, came back to New York and opened a nightclub. I always joke that Shirley Chisholm and, Gloria Steinem, they must have been banging shots back with my grandmother.
I bet.
My Aunt Ginny, who left her husband, 2 kids, opened her horse farm. It's just a long line of incredibly strong women who paved the way for all of these other women. My mom and dad split. A woman couldn't get a credit card. You couldn't.
That's right. That's right.
You couldn't get a car. Today's women have no idea what we've gone through to make this happen. And our moms and stuff, they stayed in marriages because they had nowhere else to go. They had no options. And
I think it was women got credit cards in 1974. My mother left my father in 1975.
I mean, let's face it, as a woman, even now, trying to get a business loan, how many billions of dollars go out in business loans every year? We are a very small percentage.
That's right.
Not even 10%.
That's right.
It is a very small percentage that go to women.
Yes.
It's amazing. And yet, here we are. You know what? Here we are. And we say it here on our show all the time. When you win, we all win.
That's right.
And that's what it boils down to.
That's right.
And what if? Oh, well, I can't do that. Sure you can. Yes, you can. Those moms that are out there, oh, I've been home for 20 years. I don't know how to do business. What are you kidding me? Conflict resolution, scheduling, time management,
That's
budgeting.
right. That's
you
right.
Were born to be a CEO. You
That's right. That's right. This is the exercise I give to the women who are thinking about going back to work. And they go, I haven't done anything like you're saying. I go, okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to add up all the job titles that it takes to be you. Chauffeur, maid, cook, organizer. I want every single title that you do on a daily, weekly basis, monthly basis, all the jobs of people that you would have to hire to do everything you do. Go look up their salaries, okay? Because right about now, I guarantee you're probably in the $400,000 to $800,000 a year range of everything you do, nanny, et cetera. I could go on, right? So when women sit there and go, I've just been a wife, I'm like you, what? You're your husband couldn't even afford you. Okay. If he had to pay money, he couldn't even afford you. If your partner couldn't even afford you. So it's really interesting when you start putting dollars. I'm not a somebody who's inspired by money, but it's really validating when you actually write down all the job titles and go look at the salaries, and look at the salaries based on where you live, and then maybe New York City. Just look at what it'd be, and then that is what somebody would pay you for what you're doing. That's an immediate boost, just immediate boost of like, wait a minute, you haven't been doing nothing, you've been doing everything.
Right. We could keep going forever. And I really would love to have you back. I would really love to read your book and talk about fearless living and what this book is all about, because this is so important. But as we're wrapping up this conversation, Rhonda, what do you want to leave our listeners with, and how may they reach out to you?
Well, go to fearlessliving.org. That's where everything hangs out. And all my social medias are Rhonda Britten. So you can find me anywhere with Rhonda Britten or Fearless Living. Literally, put me in Google, Rhonda Britten, Fearless Living, you'll find me. And fearlessliving.org is my website. And I just developed a brand new quiz. It's actually being unveiled this week. Like, it's brand new. It's how to help you find your core fear, the number one fear that you have. And so it's fearlessliving.org/quiz, QUIZ, fearlessliving.org/quiz, QUIZ, and go on over there and take my little quiz, and it's going to show you what might be that core trigger, that identity trigger. Because again, like I said earlier, what you think you're afraid of is more likely what I call a fear response rather than your core trigger. So let's find out what's really driving everything rather than what you think is driving everything. Because most people like, oh, I'm not good enough. No, that's generic. That is not what your core trigger is. Oh, I'm fear of failure. Probably not. Fear of rejection. Most likely not. Right? There's something else that's really driving the boat. So fearlessliving.org/quiz, QUIZ, and go take the quiz.
I can't wait to take that quiz. And I encourage all of you to do that. All of Rhonda's links are going to be live. Connect with her on social media. Go to fearlessliving.org. Take the quiz. Find out what is going on. And if you leave with anything, man, leave the whole idea of fear being your friend, that it is there to protect you at times. That is what an amazing thing to realize in your life. Really, Rhonda, I am so thrilled that I have had this opportunity to share you. I really seriously want you back, because I want to read your books and talk about them, because I can't even imagine the wisdom I'm going to glean from it.
Oh, you are so sweet. And just remember, if you're listening to my voice or watching me right now, just remember, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just fear. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just fear. Don't listen.
That's right. Seriously, thank you so much. And for all of you tuning in, thanks so much for being here. We're going to close out with our fabulous theme song from Smith Sisters and the Sunday Drivers. So till next time, this is Dori DeCarlo saying, go out and create a marvelous you. Bye for now.
She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. Sure of herself, yeah, she takes care of biz. Powerful and strong, yeah, she knows who she is. Has integrity, woman strong and true. You know her by name, see this woman is you. She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. Adds value and hope. Has proved to be brave. See, it's never too late. Never time to behave. Reaching for dreams. Doesn't matter the age. Believes in herself. Unleashed from her cage. She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true.